Okay, I just recorded a video. I was a genie for that one. And you know, I outsmarted myself. In the video, I referred to the previous recording for that day, and it wasn't recorded yet. So here I am. You get two videos, like it or not. Okay, this is from 8/9 of 2010, and this is the first one of that day, Mayan day 10, Eagle. And this is in the observation series. It's called Tripping into 5D. Are you ready for that? Meditation in vibration. So here we go. I have sung the song often about change oncoming so fast that I must check in with the self each morning to say, what has changed? What is no longer as it was before? In numerous earlier journals, I report this internal processing to you. This early morning, another possible question comes to me, perhaps even more powerful than the one before. And this question is, what do I know? What do I know now that I didn't know, that I wasn't aware that I knew before? We know everything, you see. It is merely a question of the sequential release of this. Just as a flower grows in a very sane and sensible order, one stage, one thing at a time, and so it is with us. Are you ready for the swiftness of this change? Can you open your metaphorical arms to it, to greet it this way, being cooperative? Have you cast away fear yet? And if not, then why not? Why do you hold on to it? Do you think you have power to control the universe? How silly is this thought? Why not let the universe control itself and merely cooperate with that? This one is much better, much more conducive to both peace and a nice ride. What do I know now that I have released to myself in the night? What is it what is it the proper time for me to come into awareness of? How open am I for the answer that would appear? And do I place conditions on that? Do I still seek to control? And if so, can I watch that, observe, and get to the bottom, to the source of it, and release that knot, that congestion of flow? Surely I can, but do I choose to? That is the real question there. What is my choice? How do I manifest and work with free will? Do I cooperate with the marvelous universe, the cosmos in action? Or do I fight with it, giving argument to what is? Do I watch myself doing that in spite of my desire not to do it? What is the source of that? Can I find that lurking fear buried there by observing? You bet I can. But do I choose to? Again, somewhat circular, but really a spiral. That is the real question here. What is my choice? How do I use my free will? What do I choose? It is time to look at ourselves as powerful beings, great beings of spirit, having a human adventure, an adventure into 3D and 4D, below conscious resonance with our spirit self, our higher self, our source. Let us pull all identification away from that outer self, the 3D coats of skins that we wear, like this unicorn here. We are not that. It is time and past time we were knowing it. I am not that. Neither are you. This I am is the I am of all of us. All are but one who has branched out, taking roles in a play we auditioned for long, long ago. We've had rehearsal after rehearsal for this act of the drama, this new age appearing in the midst of us, this rolling up and removal of 3D from this segment of the cosmos, at least, certainly not from everywhere. Yet, it is not only us who are uplifting, ascending into higher densities. Gaia is going too, as is the sun and the whole bloomin' solar system. All are but one sentient being in one sense, from one perspective. Gaia and the planets are like organs in the body of the sun, of Ra. We are their cells, composing them. Yes, the bodies we wear are made up of the same planet stuff. I am that. So are you. In our body sense, this is true. Not in the ultimate being sense, of course, which cannot be pointed to or even spoken in any real way. This is so beyond the material cosmos that it contains it. Let me try that again. Our ultimate being is so beyond the material cosmos that we contain it. This beingness is not what is ascending, uplifting. It doesn't have to do that. That drama takes place in the lower dimensions. So let us go back down there vibrationally and observe, see what is happening with it, but from this perch, from this higher perspective in frequency. Let us look in on 3D, but from well above it, so to speak. In other words, from not being identified with that. From here, let us look. Step back. What do we see? What do you see of your life there? That one you thought was you? Do you see how that's just an image, a reflection, a projection of this higher self? Do you see? Do you connect? The you making decisions is this higher you. That little one there, he or she is meant to just follow, to flow along. That would be best. There is an image, almost a funhouse mirror effect of free will making there, a misused effect of what free will abandoned will look like. Choice has been given over to so many things. Choice is not being consciously exercised. There's a carelessness. See how it distorts what can be into that which is? See what a mess it makes? That is abandoning sovereignty in action there. That's how it appears. See and feel the unhappiness there. Do you perceive it? I know that you can. It arises as a scent, a stench from so many beings there. Though they do not like it, they cannot find where it emanates from, can just barely smell it. Misery emanates from so many there. See it flowing out and around where they are in their bodies and minds? Now, from your perch, still up here in 5D with me, let's look into the center of each form. What do we see? Do you see that small light, that bright flame pulsing there? Do you see it's not balanced? Symmetry it has lost. Now, look to the brightest lights among the people. Cast your inner eye far and wide. Seek them out. You can find a few. Just set intent to go there. It will happen automatically. Now look, and what do you see? Do you see the beauty, the magnificence of that flame in the chest? Do you see it burning brightly? maybe even spinning, whirling around in the more advanced. Though this light is very small, yet its power is quite large, and the light that it casts, a magnetic field, very wide it is. These have influence over life in large way. They may be ones you know, or they may not. Street sweepers and orderlies and the children are more likely to have that light so bright. The humble ones, the ones with little, with sad stories to tell if they would. But they won't, of course. They don't see life that way at all. They are cut free of that, of the stories mind tells. Oh, my friends, we are all energy beings with much more than we are these body-mind beings. Do you know that? And if you know it, is it just a mental knowledge, or is it of heart, an experiential one? Heart knowing is the only worthwhile knowing there is in these realms. The other knowing just casts the sleeping spell wider. Mind is no way out of this daze of this hypnotic sleep. Mind must be tamed to get out of here. Mind gets in the way, just like a ruly child. Let's begin then to so lovingly parent the mind. Let's bring mind in line with heart. That's your throne room there, hid within chest, there where that small light emanates. That will grow brighter there once you occupy the throne once again. Take up your place. These kingdoms, walking round on 2 feet everywhere, are missing their rulers, who abdicate, running away, chasing chimeras of mind, butterflies they can't find, they can't catch in their nets of thought. Oh, those poor dears, many not even centered in their bodies there. They're all spread out, fuzzy beings indeed, instead of light beams they came in to be. Lead the way for others. Now, dear friends, before I bring you back home, back down to the more accustomed vibration rate, let's look one more place. Let's see your divine plan. Stay quite out of head for this. It's a heart thing entirely. With head, you can't win. So, from higher vibration here, yet also centered in heart, take a look at that. Just one quick look. What do you see? Now leave all ideas behind that you don't know what you're incarnate to do. Let go that nonsense. You do know, my friend. You know it well on these higher realms. It's just in 3D there where the forgetting takes place. So, you see, when you rise like this, entering heart for a trip, you can rise up above all the forgetting, all that programming done to the lower entity on the lower levels on 3D. Now, relax with me and let go of all thought, all expectation, all grasping, all holding on, wanting to know things. Just let that be. That's not you anyway. If you're meant to attain this and retain this as you go back down there, then you will. Start trusting in heart, in the overall plan. You don't have to understand it at all. That's mind's mistake, thinking it must, that it has nothing without that, without knowing, remembering things. Well, mind, you're wrong about that. So go sit over there and hush. Let us be for now. We'll deal with you later. Okay, dear ones, know that you can let go all of this lower vibrational stuff, including the mind. You can float higher frequencies to traverse among, fly and float free, but mind here can't be. Mind brings you down every time, so do learn to observe just how it does it. Spend some time up above in observing mind's antics and cutting free of them for a time in our meditation here. You know you deserve a rest. Well, take one. Make that choice. Okay, if you are to remember, recall what you found while up here, then you will. Got to trust. Trust is part of letting go, you know. Grasping, that is fear-based. Fear brings you down, out of heart, right away. So, we've practiced letting go for a bit, for a few moments here. We've let go expectations, desires, and thoughts. Quite a tall order, that. How did you do? Are you pleased with yourself? Well, if not, turn around. Let me kick your butt. You did just fine. Quit judging you. No more nonsense like that. Cut yourself a break, why don't you? Make that choice. You're beginning to reign again. You're taking kingly instruction, helping you recover from the insomnia that comes from abdicating your throne, a natural part of it. It was too terrible to remember there when you were trapped in the grief and the dark of the power that you had before. You didn't want to remember. The contrast was just too much. So you forgot. Well, you chose to do that. It left a great sadness inside, for we remember our previous state, our kingly robes. We're missing them. So we were then saddled with a false sense of responsibility there in 3D. It's not the right one. They placed it on us. Our shoulders were bare of the cape of authority we once wore, missing that weight of power and greatness. It had a certain weight, and they put this there in its place, this false sense of responsibility to things, to outer things, people and places. It's really quite wrong. We can just walk away from it now, up in higher dimensions. Let's take a closer look. Our cape of authority sat well on our shoulders, the shoulders of a king, of a queen. Our own domain we ruled regally. Then it was taken, gone. Our DNA was scattered by the force field the Dark Ones wove all around our dear planet, and that tore us apart energetically, left us disabled. That's what we became. And we were blinded as well. No more bright vision, seeing into and through dimensions, just stuck with the visible spectrum they carved out for us for this biology that we wear, double helix DNA. Well, my friends, as you see with me here, we can now rise above, be not tethered, not tied down to that anymore. From these levels, we see what's not visible down there. From these levels, you remember inside what it's like to reign, to be your own sovereign. Get into that feeling. Take back dominion energetically. You'll see it happen as well in the life that you lead there in 3D. That is a reflection of this. This is heart knowing that must take place. Knowing in mind won't do any good at all. That road's the wrong one. I don't care how comfortable you are with it. Give it up, now or later. You can see from here how mind just cannot take you here, nor anywhere that your heart longs to go. Look at the deviousness of mind, my friends. It has no moral, no ethical tether. Come up high with me here, then look down low. See things revealed to you there, things you didn't know that you know. What do I know now that I didn't know before? Remember, that's how this journal opened. Here then we've come full circle. Here too you've seen how you are quite free to step up, to step above your frequency anytime and have a new look and see with new eyes. Yes, They're eyes of heart, never of mind. If through mind you try to make this trip, you'll just be hallucinating. Mind will do its best to conjure up for your viewing images it makes to try to retain the throne it took from you long ago. It won't let go easily. Habits ingrained. Stay out of the mind for these trips. If it's reality you're desiring to see and not just the story, not just lies. Mind does its best, but it's just filled with stories and lies and with dead ends for you. It's all about choices. The choices you make every day of your life. They're very important, but you've been asleep at the wheel of your soul. You've let it go off track quite. Time to regroup in the heart. Start observing from there. Heart just knows things, and your guidance is there, so don't listen to mind. Unfortunately, if you're listening from the mind, as some people are in their fear to let go, then you're quite unable to follow these instructions. Even if it could, which it can't, your mind won't. It's not stupid, you know. It's still the ruler of you. That it knows, and it doesn't want to let go. Well, would you in its place? Come on, get real. Quit kidding yourself about this. Slap yourself, that is mind. Slap your mind around a bit. Wake yourself up from your dreaming, your slumber, my friend. Time to wake up. And that's the end, but I've got a note on the end here. I said, how very funny. A ruly child was a phrase I used above. The quote was to be like an unruly child, but it came out very clearly and firmly, a ruly child. That's a very interesting non-typo indeed. There's a message here. Ruly versus non-ruly. Ruly then would be orderly or ruling. Yes, the clear connotation, since we're talking about mind, is that it is like a child ruling things, like a ruly child. Amazing the things consciousness brings forward when you just let go and let it. And this one was long enough that it's probably best to listen to it while viewing from the transcript. You might want to give that a try. Besides, the transcript's kind of nicely organized and it might be helpful. Love is us. Good day.